Hey there, and welcome to We Listen and We Don't Judge. I'm Claire, a mom of 2 boys, and with me is Mikhail, mom-to-be of a sweet baby girl arriving this April. This is your go-to space for real talk, laughs, and everything in between. We're here to share the highs and lows of motherhood, friendship, and just life in general. So grab a coffee, kick back, and know that here, we listen and we don't judge. It's all love, all the time. Let's dive in.
Hey podcast listeners, it's Mikhail. Thanks for tuning in to We Listen and We Don't Judge. In today's episode, we're diving deep into the multi-phase journey of motherhood. We discuss the emotional challenges of pregnancy loss to the hope and anticipation of new beginnings. We share our personal stories and struggles that helped shape the paths to where we are now. We hope that you can connect to our stories in some way and are reminded that no two journeys are ever the same, but the power of connection and support can make the difference. Stay with us as we share our personal stories, insights, and advice for navigating your own motherhood journey, no matter where you are along the way.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of We Listen and We Don't Judge. We're so glad you're here with us. We are excited to bring you episode 2, which is going to lead into episode 3. We've got a lot to talk about today. And we're so thankful you're here with us for the next episode. The first one must have not been too bad, right? They're back.
You're back.
And we are glad to have you here. I'm Claire once again, and this is Mikhail. And today we're going to be talking about a lot of fun things, motherhood-wise and just womanhood-wise. Some of the topics we're going to go over is just, finding out you're pregnant, pregnancy in general, your birth plans, the body changes that come along with that, and then just the opinion overload that happens when you make decisions for you and your baby. So that'll be a fun one.
Probably lots of other things that come up.
Lots of other things. I hope that you guys are annoyed by our ADHD, but we really just want to keep it real talk and let the conversation flow and not be too scripted or, time managed. So thank you again for being here, and let's dive in.
Let's dive in.
All right. So tell me your story about finding out that you were pregnant.
Okay. So I got married last May, 2024, May 25th, so the end of May. And I just turned 21, married my high school sweetheart.
Aww.
Started dating when we were 14. And I always wanted to be a young mom, but I don't know. I was when it happens
right.
type thing. Okay, so I got pregnant in June. And they say, you're always shocked. You watch these videos of girls finding out and you're like, how are they shocked? Do they not understand
how this
works? You know what you're doing. But I was not expecting it. I was just a few days late on my period, and I was headed into work, and I'm I just had those little strips, not even a pregnancy test, and just the tiny little strips.
Yeah.
And I was I'll just take one. And I honestly didn't even think about it. And as I was walking out of the bathroom, I just peeked at it, and I'm
ah!
I held it up to every angle of the light. Could this be? And told Wyatt that night, and he was well, these can be wrong, right? And so then...
Always the words you're wanting to hear from your loved one, right?
But he was excited.
No,
but
I know.
It was pure shock.
Yeah.
And then the next morning I took one, and it was clearly, so then I think it sunk in a little bit more for him. Got to tell my parents that week. They were so excited. And then at the end, so it had been a week since we found out, I started miscarrying, and Dang it.
I know.
I did not think I was going to cry.
It's an emotional subject. I wasn't sure if you would share that part or not, but it is
I
a
mean,
true
it's,
part of your journey.
yeah, and it's like, you can't really not because it's
yeah,
affected like the next.
for sure.
But so yeah, we were kind of like, whoever expects that, I'd always wondered like maybe it's going to be hard for us to get pregnant because, on social media, like fertility is just such a hot topic, I guess.
Right.
Especially within like the people I follow, my algorithm.
Yes.
And so I had that fear, but I'm like, I guess in my mind, I was just like, once you get pregnant, though, like,
Right. Everything's
good
going
to
to go according to plan.
Yeah. And so that was really hard. But honestly, I don't even feel like I had time to process it because then I got pregnant again really fast. They say you're really fertile after miscarriages, and it was true for me, but it wasn't. I feel like the second time it wasn't as like happy, I guess.
Right. There was a lot more anxiety and worry that came with that because you had been exposed to there can be sadness after conceiving,
Yeah. And even just like telling my mom the second time, like I wasn't getting the same reaction from, I didn't get to tell people the first time really, but it was just like people were worried for us, which obviously.
Right.
Anyways, so first trimester obviously came with like a lot of anxiety, you know. I was like, sounds terrible, but every time you go to the bathroom, you're just like waiting to see blood and like, just your people who have been through it like understand. But yeah, so that's kind of me finding out. But like I have to tell the first part before the second because that's our whole story of getting here, I feel like. Especially with it being so close.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the two due dates aren't even a month apart. Like, only God, honestly.
Yeah.
And me and Wyatt say all the time, like, God can use any situation and, like, she wouldn't, I almost just said her name. But she, is meant to be our first baby.
For sure.
So.
Do you want to share the butterfly story?
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
The day before I miscarried, Wyatt told me about how this butterfly, like, followed him around all day and, like, wouldn't leave his shoulder. And I really actually think that I started miscarrying that day. And so I just think about it as, like, I don't know. I do think that, like, God gives us things in life to comfort us.
For sure.
And that week after was really hard on me. Like, I would go out on the porch and butterflies would just, like, there was this one specific one I have videos of. I'll try to play it. But just, like, sat at my feet.
Aww.
And was so calm. Like, not flying around.
Right.
Just, I literally got so close to it and videoed the detail of the butterfly because it just sat at my feet.
That's amazing.
So thank you for reminding me of that because I honestly, me and Wyatt both say that we want to get like a little butterfly tattoo. We were going to, and then
you got pregnant.
I got pregnant.
I think that would be such a great little testament. I always think it was a her too. I always refer to your first pregnancy as a her.
Yeah.
But who knows? You know?
I just think like God used that to comfort me then because I just think there was so much unknown too. Like I'm like, is something wrong with me? Am I ever going to be able to carry? Because it happened so quick too.
Right.
And you don't know. And I had like just gotten married. I hadn't even been able to process. So yeah.
Graduated college, moved home, got married, got pregnant,
had a miscarriage, got pregnant again,
bought their first home, having a baby, all literally within a year's time.
Yeah.
So And like as someone, hopefully this is okay to share, but someone that struggles with anxiety,
Yeah.
and then you add something like this that happened on top, like it just really kind of can create this snowball effect
For
of,
sure.
and we've talked about that many times, like trying to focus on the positive, which we'll get to later, but there's just information overload and you're not sure what's right to do, or am I doing something wrong because I'm
Yeah.
doing it differently, or because this happened, and it's just, as someone with anxiety, it's really hard to not focus on that type of stuff. So I'm just so happy that,
Yeah.
your sweet little baby is still tucked in there nice and tight and warm and kicking
Breach.
you and breach and hurting your tailbone and all the fun
Love
stuff.
her.
I had to laugh because I thought my phone was at 1% because I was looking at the note that you sent me. I was like, how is it at 1%? I've got to like take a break and get a charger. No, it's Mikkel's screenshot
That's
that she
hilarious.
sent me. Living life
I
on
do
the
have
edge
a-
last night.
I do have a problem with letting my phone die.
Oh my gosh, she's a passenger princess that doesn't pump her own gas and lets her phone die and
Yep.
loses debit cards.
But I'm not dirty. I'm not unorganized. I'm just cluttered.
Just cluttered, okay? Can you relate?
I'm
We
just
listen
cluttered,
and we don't judge. Oh my
Okay, I
gosh.
remember what I was gonna say, and
Okay.
I'm gonna have to definitely like.
Yeah, cut some of this out.
So, one thing is that I feel there probably people who, I know every story is different, and like this has made me like, I don't know how women go through stillbirths, and
Yes.
every miscarriage is painful.
Yes.
I'm not like saying one's lesser than the other, but it's really made me like feel other people's pain and be empathetic to this whole group of women. It's terrible, but there's like a whole community,
Yes.
And I remember
Cut.
I remember that week after, I was just like playing everything that I did
Mm-hmm.
the day and the day before that it happened. Like I did something,
Right. Did I lift something too heavy? Did I
Yeah.
overexert myself? Did I eat something that I shouldn't have?
Yeah.
One cold cut sandwich, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not going to be
Was I too
enough.
stressed? Did I drink
Right.
too much caffeine?
Right.
And now I know, like,
right. It just wasn't
No.
a viable pregnancy.
Yeah,
It was
it
so
just-
early.
yeah.
And
So, I would just say to anyone, like, for one, those thoughts are real, and
Yeah.
like, you're not crazy for feeling that, but also like, they're not from Jesus.
yeah, those thoughts are not coming.
Yeah.
Not coming from him. Well, thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that.
And
And
thanks
I'm-
for reminding me of the butterfly thing, because
Yeah.
sometimes you just like
Right.
need to be reminded of, oh my gosh, like that got me through.
Yeah, for sure. Those little just glimmers of hope or joy or comfort, like you said, it just sometimes it's literally all we need.
Yeah.
I sidetrack because we're ADD here.
Like actually.
Actually.
diagnosed.
But like that makes me think, okay, so we had a really tough December, really tough January, and there was just a couple people that, a best friend down that lives, in Texas now that I hadn't talked to in years.
Yeah.
I haven't seen in years. We're, moms that are busy, and she's just my childhood best friend, and I absolutely love her. And I got a text from her one day during this chaos that, I don't know what's going on in your life, but, God put it on my heart last night to pray for you. And I mean, I just broke down crying in that. And then, a sweet lady that is referred to as the mayor of Main Street here, I was in there one day, or she texted me, I think, and said, I just wanted to let you know you rock, like you're awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. And sometimes like the butterfly, the random text, a hug, a smile when you pass someone, like you have no idea how much that can truly help people when they're going through a hard time. So try to spread light and love and all of that. I always have to get on my soapbox, but I mean, like as someone that struggles with mental health, like anxiety or just, overwhelmed, like that just can go a long way.
And why can't I talk today? And you literally never know what someone's going through either, because that whole situation made me realize too, like, I still 2 days later was going about my normal work day.
Yes.
And like, you know, my clients, people that I saw every day, had no idea what had happened. And I think about people who do that every day. Like, they put on a brave face, they wait to cry till they get home. And like, that just
give people grace. It breaks your heart because I mean, I always used to joke, like, as women, we bleed for 5 days a month, and we have to go about our business bleeding, walking around like nothing's going wrong, you know, and we're shedding the liner of our uterus. Okay. And we're just going about living life. So, but this is obviously a more serious subject, but I mean, as far as, you know, baby loss or infertility or, you know, abuse at home or money struggles or, you know, whatever it may be, everyone's going through something. I think it's so easy to get caught up in the highlight reel on social media or, you know, small town, hey, how you doing? Good. How are you? And just keep on going. But like when someone actually like, Claire, how are you?
Yeah.
Like, I've been thinking about you, you know, and
eye contact.
talk to me. Yeah. Like, don't, I know we're all busy, but just take that time to connect to people and actually ask them how they are, how they're doing. So,
yeah, we live in such a fast-paced society, and yeah, I just think, like, you just made eye contact with me and asked me how I was doing, and I got tears in my eyes.
Right.
Which I am pregnant. So.
Yeah, she's a little more emotional. She typically doesn't cry, but and I think that's so important. And like when people call me by name and make eye contact and like literally stop and connect, it's just something you don't get very often anymore. And I thoroughly love it. I hate it that I'm bad with names because there's so many times that I'm like, I would love, you know, but I'm like, I'm so nervous. Am I going to call them the wrong name? You know,
their mom's name, their sister's name. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just think it's important.
And I struggle with small talk. Like, it's just not.
Right. It's not you at all.
Wyatt is so good at it, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I'm this.
Yeah.
Like, I want to sit down and talk to you.
Yeah.
But like, forceful conversations are not my thing.
This girl has to like pump herself up before calling a client on the phone.
I'm getting better.
Which it is your generation too. Like you guys just aren't as used to making phone calls. But
the thing is, I would prefer a call over text to my people.
You're a FaceTime girl. Yes. Like she FaceTimes everyone.
Yeah.
One thing I was going to point out too to back that up is like when you moved home and started working here, and Elena was here. Elena was our intern from Germany. And I mean, you would have thought these girls were like lifelong friends. I mean, Mikhail just has this ability to sit down, have a conversation, like, and it gets deep, like within minutes. Like they just.
So what's your story?
Yeah. What's your story? Like, tell me about your culture. Like, what's your day to day? What's the religion beliefs over there? Like what, you know, and it just, how long? 2 weeks, I think you guys worked together. A week and a half. They worked together,
which seems crazy because I feel like
you're
know
connected
so
to
much
her.
About her.
Yeah.
But we really just, sorry, Claire, we probably spent, this is a confession.
Yeah.
We talked a lot.
We listen and we don't judge.
But yeah, I just think the more I, for one, like grow spiritually and just emotionally,
just mature, you know?
I want to, I like literally think about that. Like, I just want to sit down and be like, so what's your story?
Yeah, for sure. I think getting to know people, like we said, like everyone has their demons or everyone has their things that are going on behind the closed doors that they're dealing with. And so actually getting to know someone on that level and ask those questions, I mean, it gives you more grace for them. It gives you a better perspective. I don't know. I thoroughly love it, but that's something I've really had to like focus on just because I am such a busy person and I've grown up here my entire life and very accustomed to the, hey, how are you? Good.
You
How
are
are
really
you?
good at small talk.
You know, I can talk
But
to a
you're
wall.
good at this
Right.
too. I'm like, you're not one or the other. I'm like not good
Yeah.
at small talk.
I just, my thing is, I just have to shut my brain off from all the other noise
Mm-hmm.
and like really sit down and talk, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because if I'm letting everything, all the other noise go on, then I'm not going to have a, you know,
Yeah.
good, deep conversation because I'm
That's why this has
freaking
been
out.
really good,
Yeah.
honestly.
And that's why
Because,
we started it.
yeah, we talk all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
all the time. But there's so many distractions and interruptions. And
Yeah.
I think just having this time to not have any interruptions is nice.
Yeah, I agree. It's really nice.
You want to tell me your finding out your pregnant
Yeah.
story?
So,
I don't think I've ever heard it, so I'm excited.
I'm trying to think back that long. Oh my goodness. So yeah, Felix, let's see, we'd been married like a year at this point. Maybe a year and a half. And I finally convinced Noah, you know, it's time to start trying. And he has been a dad before. He had my stepson. And so he knew more what we were getting ourselves into. I was so naive. I mean, I had a niece and a nephew at this point, but you're still so ignorant. And I use that word like very literally. Like I was just ignorant. I was not exposed to, yeah, we had our stepson every other weekend, like that type of thing. So I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Anyways, we tried, I'd say for a couple, 2, 3 months, to no avail. And I started to get that anxiety in my head. And I'd always kind of like thought for some reason in my head that I was never going to be able to be a mom. And so, of course, that little voice in the back of your head when you've tried, which I know, I'm not trying to be insincere to people who have struggled for a lot longer. But for me, when I'm like, okay, I'm 29, you know, like, did I wait too long? You know, is this, and just all these anxieties started to come out. But I'd say about 3 or 4 months later, yeah, I got the positive pregnancy test. I found out, I think, right before we went on vacation to Panama City Beach. So it was kind
what
of
a fun vacay.
yeah, it was fun. It was kind of like I had to tell people earlier than I wanted to because everyone's like, well, why aren't you drinking? Like, we're on the beach. Everyone's having a drink, you know? But it was good. And I think Noah kind of gave me the same kind of response that Wyatt did. Like, it was like, are you serious? You know? Really? But he obviously came around, and our firstborn together, Felix, was born in January
What year?
2018. 2018.
That's so wild, like to see how big he is.
I
and
know.
yeah.
He's such a grown little guy now, 7 years old, and
The sweetest
the
boy.
sweetest, most empathetic little boy ever. And I'll get to like the story. Well, I'm gotta pause myself because I want to tell the story of like his birth and stuff, but we
Yes.
will get there.
Yeah.
And then with my second, so I nursed Felix for a year and a half. I went, let's see, it was probably, well, yeah, December of 2018. I found out I was pregnant right before we left for a trip to Mexico. I love to get pregnant right before vacations.
You love to just do big life
I
things
just,
before vacation.
I really do. I really, really do. So yeah, I found out.
So Maddie was a surprise.
Maddie was a surprise. We were going to start trying after we got back from vacation. This was my first time away from my almost 1 year old. He turned, we found out actually Christmas Eve. I told Noah, I found out and like immediately wrote him a little note so he could wake up to see it
Aw.
Christmas morning. And it said, Vaughn baby number 3, what will it be, boy or girl? And he got up in the night to like get a drink, and he came back in and laid in bed, and he goes, it'll be a boy. I was like, oh crap, you weren't supposed to see that.
That's hilarious.
So, and
He was
sure
right.
enough, he was a boy.
You're the best boy mom ever, though.
Thank you. I think, there is a higher power because they knew I couldn't I mean, I'm so excited for you to have a girl. I'm so excited to be involved in her life, and I adore my niece. But man, me and my mom were some drama when I was, a preteen, a teenager, and my sister's going through it with Aniston right now. Like, she is the sweetest girl, but just that, you're raging hormones, and we deal with it for the rest of our lives.
But you just get to be the girl auntie forever.
Yes, girl aunt, and I have so much fun.
Go talk to your mom about that.
Yeah, yes. I'll be the cool aunt. We'll go to Ulta. We'll go to Starbucks. We'll do all the fun things. But when you get dramatic, we're going back to mom. So
I can't wait to see you with her. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. I cannot wait. So yeah, found out I was pregnant, and the rest is history.
So when you went on that trip, were you still breastfeeding Felix?
Yes, I was still breastfeeding Felix. So he, like I said, it was almost his first birthday. And that was the first time I'd been away with him. I exclusively breastfed Felix minus like that first week or so. We gave him some bottles. I was having trouble getting him to latch once my milk came in. But other than that, like I never filled a bottle. I never let anyone else feed him. It was amazing. So when I went on vacation for a week and I'm trying to pump, yeah, it did not work out well. That was if anyone's ever experienced mastitis, you know what I'm talking about. It's
Did
absolutely
you get a fever?
miserable.
Is that, yeah.
And so we were in Mexico, so we were able to go to a pharmacy and get over-the-counter antibiotics. And that was after I probably struggled with it for 24 hours.
Oh my gosh.
I was looking at flights to come home.
Well, yeah.
Like I was just like, I'm over it, Noah. You stay. I'm going home to my son.
Yeah. And you're emotional anyways, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
I can't drink. I can't ease the pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing?
And you're not in the comfort of your own home.
Right.
So you're just hurting and just uncomfortable in general.
In the hot shower, in the cold shower, hot compress, cold compress. I'm like begging Noah, come up here and help me release this. And he's like, no, gross.
Well,
but come on, men,
please.
step up because
I've heard that's the trick.
Yeah, I mean, because pumps just do not, like if you pump and you're like, oh, I got 2 ounces, like. If a baby were to nurse off of that, probably would get 4 because it's just, they cannot recreate as much as breast pumps have gotten better. Like they just cannot recreate that suction.
And for you hadn't been pumping.
I had not
so
been
it was
pumping.
Even more of an unnatural thing probably for your.
And then I pumped that entire week and I saved and I froze. Like I gave it to the hotel. Like I was going to bring it all home and Noah talked me out of it. So then all of that milk from a whole week got wasted. Don't come at me. It was very struggling. Like it was
a bad week.
It was a bad week. Okay. And
it's in the past.
I'm like, is it all going to thaw out by the time? I mean, travel day home
That's
from
really
a different
stressful.
country. I was like, what? It's going to all thaw out. Can I freeze it again? So we ended up just leaving it there. And, but yeah, it was
a lot.
Something else. I did not travel or leave Maddox while I was nursing him. I never left him for longer than like a day. I don't even know that I did that while he was nursing.
Last night, we have a few weddings in August, and so I was like trying to think about how old she's gonna be, so she'll be like 4 months.
I have to count on my fingers still.
But we'll talk about it. But I'm also planning on exclusively breastfeeding, and my father-in-law was like, well, I'll just say one of the weddings, kids can't be there.
Oh,
Should've
yeah.
said that. And he was like, well, I'll just stay at the hotel with her. And I was like, you gonna have milk coming out of you?
Just pop on over, nurse her, head back.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, I'm fine with her. I'm like, I can't wait for the excuses. Sorry, me and sis gotta stay home.
Yes, for sure. For sure. That I use that a lot, honestly. Yeah. I'm a extrovert, introvert. I very much like enjoy my time at home, just in the quiet with my kids. And I totally maximized that when they were babies. Like I preferred staying home and taking a nap with them
Yeah.
and, just chilling. Like I would love to do that. And then the moment came, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. He fell asleep on me. I can't make it.
Oh,
I feel
it's
horrible,
really,
which
really
is probably
tough.
why no one reaches out to me to hang out anymore. I don't know. I mean, it could, it could correlate,
Oh,
but
maybe that's why.
yeah, now they don't want to hang out with me. No, they still do.
No, I feel that. And maybe I'll be like, I just want to go out tonight, but I doubt it.
No, I highly doubt it either. You're
'Cause I'm not
gonna
like that
revel,
anyways.
right?
I'm
You're gonna
just-
revel in just being with her and honestly, like we talked about how fast the world is now. I mean, it's so fast. We're so busy. We always have something going on, and when we don't, we pass time by scrolling through our phones or whatever. And time just goes fast. And I remember being in the trenches. I call it the trenches because I had 2 under 2. It was very stressful.
It literally was.
It really was. And my husband was gone a lot. He was gone for work. And so, single moms, shout out to you that that work is not for the faint of heart, doing everything on your own. And I just remember being there and just being like, I'm never going to survive. I'm never getting out of this. Like, I hate to even admit this, but like almost wishing my kids' lives away. Like, I can't wait till Felix is in preschool. So then it's just going to be 1v1 again. You know what I mean? I can't wait until. And my mom's like, it'll be here before you know it. I'm like, it's still 3 years away, And here they are in kindergarten and first grade. And I know that, the next 11 years for Felix are going to fly by. And before I know it, he's going to be out of high school. And that's just crazy. But it just goes so fast. So you're going to get so annoyed by the amount of people that tell you, just to enjoy it. It goes by fast. And I remember rolling my eyes at people, but it really, really does.
I mean, even pregnancy for me,
yeah,
I feel like it's went by really fast.
it's went by so fast.
I mean, it's starting to slow down.
When you get like to this stage where you just feel big and swollen and miserable,
Yeah.
it's like, okay,
Well, and I'm
all
just ready.
right.
I'm just ready to meet her. I
Yeah.
think like I'm just like anxious to
Mm-hmm.
for her to be here. So, I mean, she needs to keep cooking.
Yeah.
I'm not like she needs to keep cooking, but
For sure.
you want to talk about pregnancy?
Sure.
We kind of already have a little, but
Right. So, I think something that's important to talk about with like pregnancy too is like just some misconceptions that we had or some things that were surprising.
oh gosh.
Right?
Where to start?
Yes. Tell us in the comments if you guys have something that like completely blindsided you in your pregnancy that just wasn't talked about, but we've talked about quite a few.
Men, fast forward if you're listening.
Right.
Because
Men, you probably don't want to hear this part.
there's just so many things that I think physical changes
Yeah.
too that
Yeah.
like aren't talked about.
Right, which we do have body changes later, so
Oh,
we can
yeah.
we
Okay,
can come
we
back
can
to
wait.
that, but we'll just come back to that whole section. So be thinking, put it in the comments, and but yeah, pregnancy in general for me, my 2 pregnancies were so different. Felix, I was big and swollen and had gestational diabetes. I went to a doctor at a hospital, and it was my first pregnancy. I just did everything that they said I should do. I will say it was life-changing for me in the fact that I'd never treated my body like a temple, right? Like we're supposed to put good things in it and take care of ourselves, and I never respected my body or myself enough to prioritize that. When I found out I was pregnant with Felix, that just changed. Like I said, I had gestational diabetes. Carbs are my girl, like heart emojis. That's the only thing that I ever want to eat. And I was able to, cut those out and really prioritize what I was eating for him. So yeah, it was different, and we'll talk about the birth and the birth plan
I know it's so hard
later.
to like not flow into
I know.
the next thing.
I know, but that was, yeah. So that was pregnancy number 1. And
Were
then
you sick in your first trimester with Felix?
I threw up every morning when I brushed my teeth.
Just for like 12 weeks or? the whole time.
Yeah. The first 12 weeks were the worst, but it still happened, which I've always been very like sinusy and just drainage and stuff. And so I think just brushing my teeth and that, extra.
Were you nauseous throughout the day and stuff, or it was literally just?
I really wasn't. I didn't have a whole lot of nausea. I never like was on, just on the toilet puking because I was nauseous. So that's what made me think he was a boy too, was because I didn't have all of that. And my sister was so sick whenever she was pregnant with Aniston.
It's just so crazy how
Different.
pregnancies can differ from each other. You wonder, like, why?
Right. Why is that? Yeah, it was crazy. But I will say never I never appreciated my body until then either. Like, I just remember, and Noah, God love him, like, he doesn't remember it the same way. Like, I appreciated my body and loved my body and never felt more beautiful in my entire life. And he's like, you were so swollen. Like, and I'm like,
You
okay.
are huge.
Yeah. Okay, keep your opinions to yourself and I know that I was. I mean, I was big and swollen. I had gestational diabetes. That's what happens. And I don't know. I was just like so amazed at what my body could do.
Yeah.
I'd been around pregnant women my entire life. I never like stopped and just thought about what a miracle that is until I was, carrying one. And I think that's kind of a theme and something I definitely want to focus on is just, we've talked about it. One, how much you eat your words, like you can judge before you become pregnant or before you become a mom and say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
Claire probably judges me all the time.
Listen, no, I don't. I do call her out on it. I'm like, okay, you're saying that now. And I hope that that's true. But.
And I feel like I'm like, after I say it, I'm like, we'll see.
Yeah, right.
I'm
we'll
not
see.
like, I'm doing this.
Right, exactly. Exactly. I mean, even into parenthood, like, oh, my kids will never eat chicken nuggets and fries. Like, okay, like they eat there once a day. They love their chicken nuggies. And I like I said, my husband was married before, had a son before, and I remember in 2020, like middle of COVID, I sent my stepson's mom like a message, and it was just like, here I have two little boys. And I'm like, man, the things I judged her for before I became a mom. Yeah, I was a stepmom. Yeah, I thought I knew what was right and wrong. And yeah, I sent her a long email just apologizing for that. And like how ignorant of me to ever judge you. Because listen, like we're all trying to do the best that we can for us and our kids. In my mind, like I assume that's how I am. I assume that's how every other mother is too. So don't be so quick to judge.
That's such a vulnerable and like humble thing to do, though, of you.
Thank you.
It doesn't surprise me at all about you, but I'm just saying, like, props to you.
Thank you. Yeah,
because I know sometimes we have these thoughts of like, man, I wish I could tell that person sorry, but to actually do it,
I know. I sat there. I was like, wait, I have her email, I have her phone number, and like this is on my heart. Why not do it? Like it's not going to hurt me to apologize, and hopefully it gave her a little bit of
encouragement,
comfort and encouragement. And, that's a tough situation for the mom and the stepmom to be in.
Yeah.
And, there's probably jealousy and animosity and I just wanted to be like, hey mom, I see you, you did a great job. You're doing a great job. So, how's your pregnancy been so far?
So, I'm 7 months pregnant, 30 weeks. Wild. Each trimester has been so different for me. That's what has kind of surprised me. Like, first trimester, I think I was expecting to be more sick than I actually was. Mm-hmm. I had a few weeks where it was rough. Like, mine was just nausea all day pretty much.
She's very like her scent is very sensitive too. So like once she got pregnant, it was just like taken to a whole nother level. So I feel like she was very triggered by smells and like, food aversions as opposed to cravings.
Oh, for sure. Like, even good smells,
Yeah.
like the plug-ins and walls, I would have to unplug
Mm-hmm.
at the office because I just couldn't.
It's
Everything
too
was,
much.
like, so extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And,
The
yeah.
coffee shop. Couldn't go in the coffee shop.
Yeah, foods that I normally liked, so, like, I couldn't drink coffee.
Mexican.
Mexican, like, we would, every Sunday after church, we go eat Mexican, small town America.
Mm-hmm.
And
Or Chinese.
Yeah, so we would walk up to the door, and I'd be like, why, I would smell it and be like, I cannot go in, and we would walk over to Chinese, and I could eat Chinese. But yeah, I just had to snack all day, though. Like,
Yeah.
my stomach couldn't get empty. I feel like that helped me not to get sick. And then, like, at about 10 weeks, I started to feel a lot better. I was still really tired, but I feel like I've, for the most part, had a good pregnancy. Second trimester was pretty chill. And then 2 weeks ago, I entered my third trimester, and I hit this emotional wall that no one warned me about. Which I do have we have a lot going on right now. We're remodeling a house, which is emotional anyways, I feel like.
Right.
But I hadn't been that. Like, I don't cry a lot. Well, in my normal Mikhail, I don't cry a lot. And third trimester, I just, like, that first week, I literally think I cried every day.
Yeah.
It has to be something with our hormones heading into the third trimester, because I just talked to a friend who's 2 weeks behind me in pregnancy, and she texted me yesterday, and she was like, I've cried every day this week. I feel like everything's, like, on fire around me, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it must be something with, like, hormones, because I felt that the way she described is how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm just, like, entering nesting phase, I think. I'm just ready to.
Which is hard too when you're remodeling a house and you're not able to nest yet. Yeah.
But I'm homegirl's breech. We just found out.
So now we got to do some exercises.
Yeah. So I am just now starting to have, like, tailbone pain from that, but I can't complain. Like, I feel like I've been pretty lucky.
Reminds me of a good song lyric. I can't complain, but sometimes I still do. Life's been good to me so far, Like,
that's so good.
It's it's a good jam, and it's so true, because we can, no matter what positive is going on in our lives, where you can always find something to complain about. But
I mean, I can't tell you how many people have come up to me and they're like, you so ready?
Yeah.
Like, you wish it was just over with?
Yeah.
And it makes me sad that people have that experience in pregnancy.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying if you feel that way, like,
it's bad, but you're thankful that you've had such a great.
It makes me sad that, like, people aren't able to enjoy pregnancy because it's such a literally beautiful thing.
Beautiful.
And I love feeling her little kicks and seeing her little butt or head or whatever it is move around.
I know.
And I'm just so excited to, like, know what her little face looks like.
I can't wait to see her smooshy little face.
I know, for the butt scrunch. And
the butt scrunch is the best.
The smell. I talk about the smell all the time and why it's like that kind of creeps me out. Like, you
babies
just keep talking about how you want to sniff her.
They smell so good, though.
Yeah.
They smell so good. And the butt scrunch is adorable. They're little, like, I just feel like she's gonna have the long fingers and long toes, and, like, their little hands and feet
You
are
see
so
these
cute.
clown
Yeah.
feet?
We joke because one of Mikhail's ultrasounds, like, the baby's foot is just right up against the camera, and it looks like she has clown feet.
Like, literally, her feet look as big as her head. I'm not sure what's going on there.
I know. I bought her some cute little newborn moccasins, and I'm like, I don't know that baby girl's going to be able to wear these things.
Maybe when she comes home from the hospital.
For one day.
But, I mean, I wear size pre-pregnancy.
Yeah.
Size 11 shoes. And
have you noticed yours going up? Like, do you feel tight in your 11s now? Not too bad.
I haven't noticed it a ton, but I feel like
Swollen.
the past couple of days, I've like, my face just feels, I don't know if it's swollen or if I'm just getting like chunkier. I did gain 5 pounds in the last 2 weeks.
I was so swollen by the time I had Felix that I couldn't wear anything but like slip-ons.
Yeah.
Like, they were
Did it
just
feel as miserable as like?
Yeah, I mean, you just feel like you're about to pop. And then I went in the hospital and like they pump you full of, by the time I had him, I looked like I was 300 pounds. And I mean, I just felt it. Your eyes are like almost swollen shut. And
can you notice a difference in my face?
Yeah.
I mean, if people say they don't, I'm going to put a side by side.
Yeah.
Of the day I got married versus now. Like my eyes today.
Your eyes look swollen today.
Which it may.
Maybe all the crying. I will say too, I wanted to point out, so you're 7 months pregnant. Mm-hmm. I nursed Felix until a month before Maddox was born. So imagine being this big, you think you're big, but like at this phase in pregnancy where your belly's how it is, you feel miserable, you're exhausted, and I was nursing still at the same time. There are some moms, I know one that was in town, I won't call her out, but like tandem breastfeed.
Yeah. I follow a girl that does that.
I mean, and I was all ready for it. I was going to do it if that was, everyone's like, you need to wean him. First of all, don't tell a mom what she needs to do. Mm-hmm. Let her make that decision, because when she makes that decision, especially if you're like me and you're a people pleaser, I'm like, oh, but this person who I really value their opinion is telling me I shouldn't do that. Yeah. And it just makes it harder on the mom, you know?
We're the same way in that way. And we'll talk about, we could talk for hours about the opinion overload, because there's so many different like routes of it.
Oh, for sure. And I think we can, in the next episode, we'll go over opinion overload and just kind of go through the different choices that you have to make as a mom and just kind of talk about those. So, okay, well, we're going to end episode 2.
We could ramble forever.
Yes, we could. We're going to end episode 2. We're going to do a few rapid fire questions. Okay. And then we'll come back with episode
2.
Yeah, part 2 of episode 2, or episode 3, I guess we'll call it. Okay, rapid fire. What's your go-to comfort food?
My dad makes the best chicken fettuccine Alfredo, Olive Garden salad, bread.
Yum.
I want it right now.
This sounds delicious. I don't think I've ever tried his, so he's going to have to make that for us.
You have to.
I love fettuccine Alfredo. But I would say my go-to comfort food would be just like...
sorry if that's not comfort food, but that's my comfort food.
No, that's good. I wasn't sure if we were going to go meals, if we were going to go like snacks. But meals, I would say a good burger and fries. Mm-hmm. I love me a good burger and fries. Like, I'm not talking McDonald's cheeseburger. I want like a yummy brioche bun and, loaded
I do love French fries.
Yeah.
I love French fries.
Seasoned, crinkle, curly. What's your go-to?
Not crinkle.
Yeah. I'm a curly girl. I like curly the best, and probably seasoned second.
I like shoestring too.
Do you?
Like the really thin ones, like Freddy's fries.
Yes, but I want them dipped in cheese sauce.
Oh yeah, I'm like a ketchup or like their signature sauce.
Okay.
Like a signature creamy sauce.
Like a horsey sauce from Arby's or like that type of stuff. Last movie that made you cry. I'm going to guess whatever the last movie is you watched. I don't know. It's been...
The only thing I can think of, it was actually a TV show. But if you haven't watched the last season of Outer Banks, just skip through this part. Spoiler alert. Have you watched it?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. I was just making sure I wasn't about to.
Yeah, I bawled then too. That was so sad.
Oh my gosh. So I was pregnant.
Yeah,
but
I wasn't.
But I was sobbing.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
don't know why. Like, I felt like it was so real.
They did such a good job in that show of making you feel a connection to every single one of those characters. And I felt like I was one of them.
Yeah.
I'm 38 years old, okay? And
They're-
I was like, I'm 18.
They're older than
19.
you think, though.
I know. I was
They're
surprised
closer.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised to find that. I'm like, oh, so I can still pass for 18, 19.
I could be on a teen show.
Basically.
But
That made me ball too. That was so good.
yeah, I was like, why I was like, you've got to get it together. Like, the pillow was sopping wet from me crying.
And once again, spoiler alert, fast forward if you have not watched it yet. So JJ dies at the end. And so Mikhail and I were talking and we said they're going to name their baby JJ. So I'm telling Noah, my husband, how they're going to name their baby JJ. And he's like, Mikhail and Wyatt are not going to name their baby JJ. I'm like, that's not what I said.
Baby girl JJ. Baby girl JJ.
Poor thing. She has so many nicknames already.
Oh
She
my
doesn't
gosh.
even know.
That would be so funny, too, because my brother's name's Jay.
Yeah.
Jay.
And JJ.
And we have my little cousin is JJ.
Yeah, seriously.
That's
funny.
hilarious.
Yeah.
But Noah was so concerned that I was naming
He's
my
like,
baby.
they're seriously going to do that. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense, right? He's like, why? Because they like the show them? Yes.
No.
Okay. Go.
These are supposed to be rapid fire.
Yeah, we're not good at rapid fire. Go to karaoke song.
Islands in the Stream.
My Humps by Black Eyed Peas. Most used emoji. I'm going to either say the crazy face, like with the tongue out
You
and
have
the
to
one
check.
eye. Oh, okay. I didn't know this was.
If you go here, it's your first one.
Laughy emoji.
We're both the laughing.
We are.
But I use the heart hands a lot.
I do too. Shout out Taylor Swift. Thank you
Heart
for helping us
hands.
spread love. Heart hands a lot.
The laugh and the the melting face. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah, you do use melting face a lot. I don't use it enough, but I appreciate it, and I need to start using it.
What does it? Do you think sometimes emojis like mean something to you? It's different for the person you're sending.
Oh,
it to?
100%. Me and my husband argue about this all the time. When he sends me a thumbs up emoji, to me, that means middle finger. I'm going to need a little bit more out of you than just a thumbs up, please. So, yeah, that one definitely gets misconstrued.
Like,
The praying hands is actually, I guess, like high fives. They say it's a high fives clapping, but everyone uses it as praying hands.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know, fact check it, but that's.
I think the melting face to me is like, oh my gosh.
I'm melting into the ground. I think it's like I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do next. Help
or like
me.
embarrassed.
Yeah.
It could be like embarrassed. It could
Yeah.
be Okay. Anyways.
That's a good one. What animal do you think best describes your personality? A lioness. I'm just kidding. A sloth currently.
No. Wyatt told me that this is kind of funny because he was just talking about this the other day.
Really?
He told me that I'm like a koala bear because I guess they're like sweet and cuddly, but they can also be like.
I like
But I don't
that.
know.
That's a good one. I don't know. I'm kind of stumped on this one. What I would be.
I feel like you would be a golden retriever.
Yeah.
Like you're just
I
so fun, spontaneous,
Just gonna.
loving, very loyal.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just said
I love that.
this is what you would be.
No, I love that because
This
I was
is what you would be.
blanking. I'm like, I don't know. I really used to like owls and cows. Like, I don't.
I
wanna-
think I would be a cow.
I mostly associate with cows because I like to eat grass and just poop on the ground. And oh my gosh. Well, thank you again for joining us on episode 2. We hope you had a great time. We sure have had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to see you next time for episode 3, which should be out in 2 weeks. And we're going to go over creating a birth plan, body changes, and opinion overload. So if you have some overload opinions that you dealt with during motherhood or just womanhood in general, pregnancy, leave them in the comments below. And we're glad to have you with us. And don't forget,
We listen and we don't judge. It's all love all the time.
See you next time. Bye.